Yo, what's good out there, world? Welcome to this edition of tradeMarc's Watcha Cooking. And today, I'm going to be cooking for you a spinach stuffed chicken breast. And the ingredients are as follows. So right here, I have 2 skinless, boneless chicken breasts. I'm going to be using 2 cups of frozen spinach. If you would like to use fresh spinach, you can. And the recipe also called for some sun-dried tomatoes. I couldn't find any, so this is like the closest I can find. And this is a plant-based tomato jerky, teriyaki, and cracked pepper. I have some mozzarella cheese. I have some Philadelphia cream cheese. I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, 2 teaspoons of Creole seasoning, 2 teaspoons of garlic, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, and 2 teaspoons of this smoked paprika. And I'm also going to be using a red onion. I'm going to be using here in the back some unsalted butter and some extra virgin olive oil when I sear my chicken. So again, these are the ingredients that I'm going to be using for my spinach stuffed chicken breast. Now, let's get to it. So right here in my little bowl, I already have put in 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, and 2 teaspoons of this Tony Sanchez Creole seasoning. So I'm just going to give everything a little stir and get this mixed good. And after this, I'm going to set it to the side and we're going to move on to our next step. Okay, so now we have our mix right here. It's like properly mixed. Now, this is a mix enough for 4 chicken breasts. Now, you see I just have 2. I'm just going to do 2 on camera though. But this is enough for 4 chicken breasts. So now the next thing we want to do is butterfly our chicken breast. A little more than just a pocket. A nice little split like this. And we're going to do the second one. And get it open like this. And the next thing we're going to do is, I got my extra virgin olive oil. If I can get it open. Okay, there you go. And we just want to sprinkle a little on our chicken. Rub it in. And this is to make sure that the seasons stick to it properly. And we want to hit both sides. And don't, get discouraged if you don't cut a perfect cut, because we want to use a toothpick to close it all together. So next we're going to add our rub. So now it's time to add our rub on, and we want to make sure we put a generous amount on. And we want to rub it in. So now it's time to make our cream cheese spinach. Now at first I was going to use the tomato jerky, but I decided not to, and I'm now going to be using for my tomatoes this Hunt's diced tomatoes. So let's get started. So I want to add in 4 tablespoons of the tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of red onions, and 1 teaspoon of minced garlic. Now we're going to give this a thorough mix. Now we're going to add 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese and 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. Now you can use whatever kind of cheese you like to use. I just like to use mozzarella, and we want to mix this until it's mixed thoroughly. So after we get a thorough mix, I'm going to go in with a little onion powder, a little garlic powder, and these are just the same seasonings that I use for my chicken. Here go a little smoked paprika, and a little Creole seasoning. And I'm going to give this a thorough mix. So after letting my chicken breast marinate overnight, I'm going to spoon in some of this cream cheese spinach and add it to the chicken. Now you want to add a generous amount, but you don't want to overstuff it because it's cheese in it, and when you cook it and put it in the oven, because it melts, a lot of it might melt from outside of the chicken. So that's why you do your best to secure the chicken. And now I'm going to roll this up, and I'm going to actually use some toothpicks, and I'm going to make sure my toothpick goes straight through from the top through the bottom. And I'll probably use about 3 toothpicks. So I've already added in 2 tablespoons of butter and a little olive oil. And now I'm going to sear my chicken. Now I'm going to cook it on each side for about 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes, I'm going to now flip the chicken breast, and you can see how brown it's getting. And like I said, I'm not cooking it till it's done. I just want to sear it before I put it into the oven. So after doing 3 minutes per side, I'm going to put it in my greased baking pan, and I already have my oven preheated to 350, and I'm going to throw this in the oven like for 30 minutes. But check it out. So like I said, I'm going to add this into the oven for like 30 minutes. So here's my final presentation for tradeMarc's stuffed spinach chicken breast, made by tradeMarc.